Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. Here we have a matchup I'm really looking forward to commentating on. We've got Matt on Eureka versus Socrates on Thassa's Lash Hurt, a black build of what could potentially be a mono blue deck. Thassa's Lash, one of the newer builds that we've got trying to break Thassa's Oracle, and Matt on Eureka, a list that I've put in some effort on myself, mostly. This Veil of Summer inclusion is the most important aspect, shifting from red to green to allow for Veil of Summer. And you also have Eureka to make up for the lack of your sneak attacks. We see as the show and tell. And this could be in a very bad place with a top-decked Soul Land. He's already got that Tropical Island. He's got the show and tell. Matt living off of the top of the deck. We've got Lotus Petal for Sock. And now Jace would be bad news. Oh, it is Jace. So this is one of the matchups where Jace is going to be particularly strong. There's really no way of clearing it. It's not like you're playing against Delver, Veil of Summer, and Daze put into the bin. As Jace draws a card for Socrates, he's just going to potentially overwhelm Matt with card advantage here. And Thought Lash, a card that is part of the combo. So at this point, if this resolves, oh, and it does. So Thought Lash going to allow for the removal of the rest of Socrates' library, and Jace is going to be able to tick up and just win the game. Any type of way of bouncing Jace would be very, very good, but it is not going to happen. They did put that extra line of text on Jace's ultimate that if you go to draw a card, or if you have no cards left in your library, you win the game. It may not be obvious why that's on there, but if you were to ultimate Jace and he'd go away, then his static ability would no longer be helpful in preventing you from losing the game. So that Jace is, kind of crazy that he's playable over Jace the Mind Sculptor in this deck. Yeah, he ends up being another viable win condition alongside Thassa's Oracle, even at twice the cost. Matt leading out with a Misty Rainforest. Socrates has Lotus Petal. A little bit of acceleration. Ooh, and Matt stuck on one land, passing the turn back. And we have a paradigm shift. Force of Will. Is he going to deny that? No, Force of Willing back, pitching Thassa's Oracle. And we've got a fetch for Tropical Island. Is this going to be a Veil of Summer? Ooh. Veil of Summer is going to force through the Force of Will, draw a card, and now City of Traders coming down. Matt has the show and tell mana necessary. He's impulsing, looking to find that show and tell in all likelihood. Boy, and with that much backup, that's an interesting question. I don't know if Matt would have been better off allowing that paradigm shift to resolve, given just how meager the graveyard would have been. That'd be very interesting. Winning the counter battle after the paradigm shift is resolved could quite likely just end the game. It's a pretty bold line, though. Eureka going for the win here, in all likelihood. And Socrates, I think, just getting the details on how this precisely plays out. So Gristlebrand coming in, Thought Lash coming in, Omniscience. Eesh, this is going to be bad news. This is one of the instances where Eureka's actually better than Show and Tell, as this Gristlebrand not being cast Thought Lash is not going to do a whole lot here. Unless, of course, Socrates has a Thassa's Oracle in hand. That would be pretty dicey. Another Thought Lash, so any potential trick bind shenanigans are going to be halted. And Gristlebrand going to draw some cards, all of them castable for free thanks to Omniscience. Matt ideally going to find an Emrakul. Shy of that, a Cunning Wish will get there, and Emrakul will do the job. A total annihilation of all of Socrates' permanents. And Matt will see if he can win this one on the draw. Thassa's Lash could, let's see, what's the fastest it could win? I mean, with all those Lotus Petals, it could win on the first turn in theory. I mean, just all 4 Lotus Petals along with a Thought Lash and a Soul Land would do. Not a bad thing to say about your Legacy deck, that it can, in theory, win on the first turn, even if it's not a common occurrence. Eureka, on the other hand, it is fairly common. One of the main selling points of the deck is that explosive potential. Even if it doesn't happen that often, your opponents are put in a spot where they really have to respect it, and it often kind of changes their hands that they consider to be keepable. It's very, very difficult to keep a hand that's just totally helpless against a first turn win. Blue decks are going to really need to find a Force of Will or some discard or something to interact, as just being completely helpless in the early game is something most players are just not going to be willing to take the risk of. In general, if you have 2 counter spells versus control, I generally feel like you're going to be okay. So in the case of Eureka, a Force of Will plus a Veil of Summer, I'll definitely go for that. Though single backup is, or no backup if it's on the first turn. I mean, you're going to do a Force of Will check on occasion. There are plenty of keepable hands for other combo decks that may not have the permission. Something like this with a Brainstorm that might find more permission, or just a fast combo for your opponent. Misty Rainforests accumulating on Matt's side of the board, saving not only the shuffle effect, but also the potential to get a Mystic Sanctuary, a new addition, with Throne of Eldraine. And such a weird year. A lot of the cards from 2020, I mean, they still feel very new, even if they've been with us for almost an entire year. Or more, I guess. That was before. I think Throne of Eldraine has been with us for more than a year, and Mystic Sanctuary still feels like a pretty new card to me. Mostly because we haven't figured out the best way to utilize it. Now, we've got Thought Lash coming down. Matt could have Daze to thwart this. That is part of his list now. He's trying out some Dazes. Wouldn't be surprised to see a blue floated. And then a Daze, which is a pretty significant swing. 4 mana combo piece. Let's skip ahead here. Oh no, we lost part of the feed there, so looks like a Show and Tell resolving here, or getting Spell Pierced for Matt. Feed was down for a little bit in a bit of a counter war. Looks like it had ensued. After that, Matt having a Show and Tell countered. Socrates still in the fight here. Both decks utilizing a lot of the same cards, but feeling very different in their application. Thought Lash feels pretty hopeless to play against when you're an aggro deck. Just the fact that your cards just stop mattering. They just mill your opponent instead of doing damage. That is not going to work out. And now Paradigm Shift. Force a Will for Matt. Passing back. And both players just dropping bombs here. A Veil of Summer just thrown out as a must counter. What is Sock going to do here? He's got a Spell Pierce. Matt's going to pay the 2 and get a card draw out of it. So Veil of Summer getting rid of a Spell Pierce and drawing a card. I don't know that I like that line. Another Veil of Summer let out. Now, he may have more information about Socrates' hand than we do. It does feel like you potentially just want to jam the show and tell and force them to have double counter. For instance, here, if you play the show and tell and then they Flusterstorm and then you Veil, and Matt actually not going to cash in on the card drawing, instead letting that go away. And here's the show and tell. It resolves. He gets an Omniscience. And here's a Gristlebrand. Down to 7. And this is pretty close to just winning. We'll see where this goes. It would be literally shocking to see Matt lose from here with a Gristlebrand and an Omniscience in play. And now there's the Gristlebrand as Eureka takes that down in 3 games. I'm glad I got to see that. Be sure to subscribe for your chance to win a custom leather playmat when we hit 2,500 subscribers.